Issues on anti-doping, performance-enhancing drugs, legal challenges is almost, you could write a thesis on it. We've got what's known as WADA, so that's the World Anti-Doping Authority, which governs all form of anti-doping. That then spreads through to national anti-doping. So in the UK, it's what's known as UKAD, which is UK anti-doping, that usually follow the WADA rules and regulations. Anti-doping is there to ensure no cheating, to ensure equality of arms between participants and teams. There was probably a period, and we saw a lot in cycling, where it was like they were doping, but it was who's got the more better scientists on board and better pharmacists. Was it the teams, or was it the anti-doping regulators? But these days, it's very much really zero tolerance. Performance enhancing carries substantial bans, usually starting 2 years, potentially up to 4 years. There's been a slight relaxation in terms of more, you would say, social kind of drugs. So if it was marijuana or cocaine, that's really not performance enhancing, and they do distinguish. The bans are a lot lower for that. But anything where it's performance enhancing, it's a legal minefield. Usually an athlete is tested, and they can be tested anywhere, in competition, out of competition, at home, on holiday. They have to give full details of their whereabouts all the time. A player or an athlete is then tested. Usually nothing happens for a few weeks, and if it's a positive test, they will be informed that what's known as a sample A has been tested positive. Usually on the back of that, the governing body will impose an immediate temporary suspension. The athlete then has a choice to accept. They could ask for sample B. We've seen recently with Conor Benn in boxing, a few days before he was due to fight at Eubank, he tested positive, and the whole thing blew up, where Ben had to pull out of the fight. Ben's been on a mission to clear his name. He doesn't understand why there was a positive test. And then there's the interviews. So UKAD will often want to interview, and we've represented a number of athletes who have been involved or been caught in a sample A, positive sample A. Usually it's a sort of approach, strict liability. So if it's in your system, you're guilty. There are occasional matters where they could look at why the athlete doesn't understand why they've not been doped, or they've not been doping, but has somebody spiked their food? What's happened in the changing rooms? Has something put something in it in somebody's shape? We don't know. Then there is, sometimes you could argue, if there's abnormal testosterone, is that because they've been eating certain types of meats? So often it usually involves an expert pharmacist, scientist to understand why there's been a positive test. And so again, we've got that experience of advising athletes. And then more recently, you've had issues where there's been a positive test. It's usually published by UKAD. That in itself can cause a lot of issues for athletes. Certain things in their private lives might be revealed because of what they said in interview. And we are seeing more, and I'm involved in a number of matters where the athlete wants redactions on the final decision. They don't want certain things to be revealed of a confidential nature. And even if there's a ban imposed, there is often a negotiation to be had. It's going to get tougher for athletes. There's a zero tolerance towards anti-doping, and one may say, quite right, it's the aim of most sports is to drive out the cheats.